You went back, I know, after the fact and watched the collision match between Bryan Danielson and Ricky Starks, the Texas Death Match.
Yes.
Was it because you saw all the social media stuff about the chair shot?
Well, I'll be glad to tell you you're wrong, but in this particular instance, you're not. Yeah, I had to. My curiosity was piqued, as they say, and that's PICQUED, not the peaked as in Pike's Peak. I hate when people make that mistake. But nevertheless, it came up on Twitter the morning of or the morning after the show, or maybe even that night. I wasn't standing by. That Ricky Starks and Bryan Danielson, and they had what they call a Texas death match, right? It's a last man standing match. And because there's no multiple falls and blah, 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 it's basically whoever gets knocked down and can't get up by a count of 10, which is a last man standing match. But Tony still thinks the name is cool, to the point where the announcer, even Kevin Kelly, they had to be feeding him this, making him say it. Well, Dory Funk Sr. established this. The name of the match, yes, but not this match. Anyway, the clip went out of Starks. He's working on Danielson's leg. And he, as it wrapped around the ring post while Danielson's laying on his back in the ring, like you yank the guy's leg around the post, except he goes and gets a chair to Starks and draws back. And there's the leg on the post, and Danielson ain't moving. He's selling. He's right there. And he fucking whacked the ring post above the leg so far, so obviously, so whatever, that Danielson sold it because he was expecting the shot. But I think as he reacted to it and then realized it didn't come anywhere close to him, that he didn't roll all the way across the ring with it. He was going, oh God, I'm selling that. And there was this was a fan cam of, somebody with a cell phone shot of the chair shot. And it was going around on Twitter where it was so bad, so obvious. And I'm thinking, was there any excuse for this? Like the shot that they had on their television program was okay because of the camera angle. It looked like it killed him, but just for where were the Grand Rapids, for the 3,000 or 4,000 people in attendance, you could see it from the cheap seats. At least that's what they said in the dirt sheets. But then I had to watch the TV match to find out, and I did. And Brian, did you watch that match?
I had Collision on in the background live as it aired, but I didn't pay specific attention to it.
Right.
But I watched some of this match because of who was in it.
Well, but did you see the camera angle of that particular spot that I just described on their show?
I didn't remember it, as it happened. I didn't see anything until I saw the clips going around on social media.
Well, it didn't look any better on their shot than it did on the fan cam. You could almost hear at least one of the announcers kind of go like, that's the kind of thing. In OVW, I would throw my fucking pen that I always had in my right hand. I'd throw it down on the desk, and Dean Hill would back up a little bit farther away from me in case I blew. But I love Bryan Danielson. He's one of the best. My only complaint about Bryan is he is such a nice guy and wants to cooperate with everybody, and is one of the people, honestly, who think, there's so many styles of wrestling, that he will risk his special talent that he has in the ring as an in-ring wrestler, babyface, people get behind. He has the fucking in-ring matches, not just the moves and the technical, but the psychology and the whole 9 yards. But he will also participate in the fucking hardcore, the garbage match, the 10-man football field fuckery, whatever the fuck, right? It doesn't look like he says no to he let him stick him in the group with Moxley. So he doesn't take great care of himself the way he's presented, but I love him. And we like Starks. But the whole match, because then I had to see the thing from start to finish because I thought, okay, maybe this was a brilliant match with one, unfortunate fucking bleh. I don't think it was a brilliant match. I think the last 4 minutes that I was able to see were probably really good because that's when they actually got in the ring. And I understand they wanted to have a fight. They want a Texas death match is wild. It's a brawl. There's personal issues here. They brought Jim Ross in to do color. And so they jump-started it and got in a fight. But they go to the floor. They go over the rail into the arena in the crowd. And that's where the announcers were talking about Dory Sr. he made the name of the match famous. But they went into the stands. Then they went to the back of the arena. Then they went to a different part of the back of the arena. And they're doing the long fight walk from place to place, and then they do their business and they go on. It's like Brody and Abdullah. Brody and Abdullah did.
Abdullah, yeah.
Well, Brody and Abdullah did, but you saw that live. And you only saw it like probably once. You didn't see it every goddamn... Anyway, so when they get back to ringside, Starks throws Danielson over the railing into the front row of the other side where there's a bunch of indie guys there to catch him. And then here comes some security guys. And then as they're trying to pull Danielson out of the front row, Starks dives off the top rope onto all of them. And so I hit the fast forward button. I said, I'm going to see how long it takes them to get in the ring. And as soon as I hit the button, they went to break. That was their break spot. And believe it or not, in the picture-in-picture, they finally got back in the ring. But by the time they came back from the break, they were on the floor again. And now there's a whole nother set, and that's where the chair spot that we talked about came in. The fan cam obviously exposed it, and you could tell that the people in the building had seen it, and there wasn't like a big ooh. It was more like a muted And their camera angle wasn't any better because you could see through that one. But then it became a long thing where Starks is getting heat on Danielson with the chair. And then, choking him with it. And if you're standing there over a fucking guy with a chair in your hand, just beat him like Paul Bunyan until his brains are jelly, right? You don't have to think of different ways to do things with a fucking chair. And then he tried the Pillman on the ankle off the top rope, but by the time he got up there, Danielson was up and just starts belaboring him with the fucking chair. And again, maybe by this point, this would have been good if any of the first 5 or 8 minutes had been in the ring. But and Danielson made a comeback and got people up. And then went for the knee, and then Starks nailed him with the fucking chair again. And as the heel nails the fucking babyface with the chair and he goes down, the fans start chanting, "We want tables." Wouldn't they at least be chanting, "We want an ambulance. We want a doctor. We want medical attention for Bryan Danielson, our hero." Not, "Now that you hit him with a chair, put him through a piece of furniture."
It's not about the wrestler, it's about the fans.
So then we have another break. And then we came back and I noted, well, they've got less than 5 minutes on the fucking air. And now Starks, apparently in the break, has had a logging chain wrapped around his fist. And he's trying to punch Danielson with it, but he dropped it and they started slapping each other. Which looked actually better than if you try to punch somebody with a logging chain wrapped around your fucking fist. Because not only are you going to kill them if it looks any good at all, but you're going to break your fucking knuckle. When did they go from the heel pulls a chain out of his tights? It's a dog choker chain. The people can see the links. It's shiny. You wrap it around. bam, hit the baby face, you're done, too. It's got to be 10 feet long with links as big as goddamn tennis balls. So anyway, but at that point, Starks wrapped the chain around Danielson's neck and cranked it up and then let go of him so he could be counted, but he beat the count. So then Starks got the old over-the-shoulder hangman with the chain, and Danielson flipped out, but Starks went to spear him, but Danielson rolled through with the label lock and then got the chain and wrapped it around Starks. Starks fought out. They're on their knees. Starks has a chair. Danielson comes with the knee. Starks puts it up like he's going to hit him. Danielson hits the chair with the knee and drives it into Starks' face and busts him open hard way. And then my DVR froze up because the fucking time of the show was over. So what happened?
I don't specifically remember. I thought Danielson won again, but now you're making me question that because you...
No, I know he won, but I think he choked him out with some...
Yeah, I mean, I wasn't really into it. It was too... I didn't like the first match. Everyone raved about it. You raved about it. The... what was it, a chain match? No, what was it? It was a strap match.
No, yeah. Yes, the chain match was not. It was a strap match because of the Dragon, Ricky the Dragon. And
that was the first match those two had ever had. Or at least as part of this program. Because it was going to be Starks and Punk had his issues and wasn't there. So now it was him and Danielson. This is the second match they've had. So the first match is a strap match. The second match, the Texas Death Match, doing all the things everyone else does in every other match. It's not just the high spots. It's not just the off the top rope high spots that are overdone. Everything that used to be a rarity is now done every episode and sometimes in every match to the point where fans like me, it just doesn't register anymore. I'm going to say the same thing I said last time. I really didn't like this match. It just didn't do it for me.
I'm agreeing with you on this one. Again, more of the same stuff, but when you've got a guy like Danielson who excels in the ring, what is the need to have him out in a fucking popcorn stand?
What's the need in beating Starks twice? Starks is the one who needs to get over more, not Danielson.
Well, maybe he choked him. Well, actually, after that chair to the head, because right when the DVR froze up, the announcer just said, "Oh, Starks is busted open," and he had just come into camera frame, and you see his spurt of blood going down the side of his head. I think he opened up his eyebrow. It may have been Starks said, like Moxley the other day, "Fuck it, just beat me. Don't hurt me anymore."
Well, I don't think it was that.
Please, baby, don't hurt me. Don't hurt me. Oh. No more.
Now you're singing garbage songs? Now you're just going right to the crap?
Look at my blood. Baby, don't hurt me. Don't hurt me no more.
Did you like this song when you used to go to the clubs?
Well, all the time I was clubbing. It was a big thing.
I could see that being a big thing in the 80s. The guy shows up looking like the nerd, That was the era of the nerd.
The only way I would have showed up at a club in the 80s is if I'd had a goddamn gorilla mask on, because if people to recognize me, they would have disemboweled me.
Well, maybe you would have gone to a club in the 80s if you were a little more relaxed. Maybe if you had a good night's sleep the night before and you felt a little more relaxed and in your groove on that moment.
In my groove on that moment?
And that day. Just like Stella, you can get your groove back and go.
The groove line.
That's
We'd be riding on the groove line. Rain, shine, don't mind. We're riding on the groove line tonight. Woo-hoo. I'll tell you what, though.
Yeah.
You're right about one thing. It does pay to get a good night's sleep, to be rested, to be relaxed, and also to be calm about things. And we have a lot of things here on the various programs that we do to help you in your efforts to relax and sleep and ignore the outside world and all of the horrible influences in it, and our friends at CB Distillery are one of them. Because everybody needs better sleep. Everybody needs to be calmer. Everybody needs to be more stress-free, less anxiety. And I'll have you know that our friends at cbdistillery.com, by the way, have got that stuff nailed down because, well, for example, Dr. Kevin Fry, our friend Kev, we're on a first name basis now because he's a Mayo Clinic trained internist. He worked directly under Dr. Ken Ramey at the Mayo Clinic. And he interned.
Not that kind of intern.
Well, he's been around people who know what they're doing. And he learned by watching. They didn't actually teach him anything. He just observed. It's osmosis, this old medical thing. And now he's a specialist, I'll have you know, and he recommends the fine range of products from CB Distillery because they're all natural. They're packed. I mean, chock full. I mean, jammed tighter than a tick. I mean, tighter than the skin on a hot dog. Packed with whole body healing plant compounds and vital nutrients in the full range of carefully formulated CBD and other plant-based solutions that are proffered by CB Distillery. Did you know, Brian, CBD, now a lot of people just say that. CBD, I just did. See there? I'll say it again, CBD. But a lot of people don't know what that stands for. Now, in the plant world, there are the cannibals and there are the tetrahydrocannibals. Apparently, these cannibals eat each other.
Where are you getting this?
Because, well, I looked it up. It's science. Because now they take the THC, that's the tetrahydrocannibals. They take that out of this stuff, or elsewise you might flunk some tests you need to take at some point. But the regular cannibals, hence the CBD, that stays in there.
There are no cannibals involved in any of this.
Well, CB Distillery is people. And that's what they do, a little tit for tat. They've been eating people for so long, so CB Distillery has figured out.
No, it's cannabis.
If you grind these son of a bitches up, and you put them in the grinder, when you turn it out and you put a little food coloring on these bastards, they don't taste too bad, and they'll help you relax. Cannibals.
Yeah, see, someone saw another brick in the wall in theaters, and this is what happens. No, we're talking about cannabis, not cannibals.
Oh, wait, cannabis, not cannibals?
What did you say? The techno cannibals are coming at you?
Cannibals, not
I'm sitting here trying to figure out what you're talking about, and you just keep going.
Well, I was doing the research, and I thought it was tetrahydrocannabal, but you're saying it's cannabis, not cannibal.
Cannabis.
Well, never mind. But, folks, I'll tell you what, if you want better sleep, 90%, we've quoted this statistic of customers report better sleep with CBD. 81% say CBD helps with stress and anxiety. Just under that at 80% report less physical or less pain or physical pain.
Or bless pain, whatever you said.
Whatever. I'll start again if you want me to. 80% report less pain after physical activity, whether it's physical or mental pain, I don't know. They enjoy better focus and concentration, and 0.4% reported making love to Galactus after taking the fine products from CB Distillery.
Ladies and gentlemen, that is a statistic not in our copy, for the record.
It's still being researched because it's such a fine number.
By who?
Well, by the fucking international fucking fecal philiacs over in Zurich. Let me get you on the right path, folks, with our 20% discount here at cbdistillery.com. All you got to do is go to that fine website, cbdistillery.com, and enter my code, JCE, for your discount. No prescription required. Nothing you have to forge. No documentation you have to falsify. They don't need shit. cbdistillery.com. Promo code JCE for 20% off anything they got in their whole stash.
Their stash of CBD, of course, from CB Distillery.
Yes, and Dr. Kevin Fry, he's the guy. He's going to have a beard and a droopy mustache. He'll be on a bicycle. When you see him coming around the corner, have the money in your hand. He's going to slow down, but he won't stop. And he'll deliver and you make the handoff, and boom, you're done.
There are no guarantees of beards, and he will not be on his bicycle. He'll be in his office working on fine CBD-related issues that need to be dealt with And you can help him deal with them by purchasing some CB Distillery. What's the promo code one more time?
JCE. How can you forget something like that?
How could you forget something like that? Well, Jim,